Yes, welcome to another video. This is a preview I just recorded with Carefree Lewis from the Chelsea Fan TV channel. It's pretty interesting discussion, guys. Please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. Go check out the One Football app as well, guys. They've sponsored today's video, so a massive shout out to them. They've got a sick app that you can download for free. When you download it, select whoever you support as your favourite team. You get all the team news straight to your phone. I'm talking like match news, match reports, transfer news, transfer rumours. It is actually sick. We'll put all the details on screen so you can QR code it as well if you want, or links in the description. I also recorded a video on the Chelsea Fan TV channel, so that'll be up, I guess, sometime short soon as well. It's just a slightly different angle for the game. But hope you guys enjoy it. If you do like this sort of content, let us know. Leave a comment in the description. Leave a comment, and we'll do more in it. If you don't, then let us know again, and we'll never do one ever again. But I hope you enjoy it, guys. See you in a bit. Yes. Welcome to another video. I'm here with Carefree Lewis. Yes, bro. What you saying?
I'm all good, man. Excited for City v Chelsea. Oh, well, I say excited only slightly. The games that we've had coming and you guys having a free week, I'm expecting to get battered. But Tuchel v Pep, I think for me, best rivalry in English football right now. Very tight between the pair of us. So I'm interested for Chapter 4. But yeah, great to be on. Thanks for having me on as always. And yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. Now, before we start, bro, I did just mention it off recording. But the viewers, I've got to say it. What is that flag, bro? You know what I mean? Are you trying to rub it in?
This one?
Are you trying to rub it in here?
Nah. Well, people know me. I always like throwing a little salt in the wounds. But this has always been in the background ever since I came back from Porto. And yeah, I do get it's still going to ring heavy in the ears and everything like that. But it's character building. No one deserves to win their first cup final. You've got to have the character building off your first loss. It'll build you guys up. And I think as well for you guys, because I remember speaking to City fans in the past before, and they always seem to, I might be wrong here, but they always seem to prefer the English competitions to the European ones anyway. I don't know if it's because of your past histories with UEFA or anything to do with that, but I think ever since you guys went through Porto, I think the desire for the Champions League has only multiplied with you guys. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, I think you're right, bro. I think what it is, I think obviously when we was growing up, and obviously not just me growing up, like even like my dad and that, and like the older people, like we were in the Champions League. So like we've never really sort of experienced it, man. You got to go way back to see City last compete in a European competition. It wasn't even the Champions League then. It was what it was before that. So we never really had the interest. Then we got into the Champions League, And from my point of view, I think from what happened for me is, I think, to be honest, maybe it was a little bit naive. I think we was kind of took back about like how hard it actually is to Champions League. Yeah. Like I think, like I remember we struggled to even get out of the groups. Like we were getting shafted. Like the groups we got were difficult, but still like we found it really hard to get out. And I think that was just a bit of a shock to the system because obviously in the Premier League, we've been doing all right. Yeah. Buzzing and that, but then we get in the Champions League struggle. And then obviously then we have had issues with UEFA. Like we don't need to go over them. We already know what they are with like the FFP, and then we had like a racism issue that wasn't properly addressed. So like that kind of frustrated us, and we lost a little bit of love for the Champions League. What I would say is though, I think it is healing a little bit. I don't think it will ever be like a full like sick relationship, you know what I mean? But I think it's healed a little bit, and I think you are right. I think by getting to that Champions League final, I think it's made us hungry for it now, you know what I mean? And I think for a lot of people, the bread and butter is still the Premier League. You know what I mean? We want to win that. And I always say it's my bread and butter because I don't want to play 38 matches and then not win the trophy, the competition. But having gone through that experience, and I think as well, bro, I think losing in the way we did to you, I think for me, it's just kick-started it. So, yeah, I mean, you guys lost your, did you lose your first Champions League as well? Was it against United?
Moscow.
Yeah, so obviously,
Terry, the slip and everything, awful night.
Yeah, so you're in that situation as well. Obviously, I guess when you did win it against Bayern.
Yeah, but ours weren't the group stages that was annoying. It was the constant semi-final losses. We had the ghost goal with Liverpool and Louis Garcia. Then we got knocked out by them again on penalties, and Jose Reina just saved everything. Then obviously you got Vrebo and Barcelona and the Iniesta goal and all the 5 of the penalty decisions they ignored. Champions League nights used to be so heartbreaking as Chelsea fans, but that's why when you finally get there and you win it, nothing hits different. Like I've seen us win Premier Leagues and it's crazy. The atmosphere is electric the whole season. But winning the Champions League, like when Kai Havertz scored, I spent like the whole second half just in tears, just sitting in the ground, just like watching the action. You lot could have equalized at any moment. But I was still already just tearing up at the fact that I'm seeing Chelsea win the Champions League live. And when that happens to you guys, the feelings are going to be exactly the same. I promise you, nothing is going to hit deeper than a Champions League win. But you guys shouldn't be worried. It is going to come. It's a question of when, not if. So I wouldn't worry if you guys.
There you go, man. That's positive news. Well, let's turn our attention to the Premier League then, man. Obviously, we're playing you guys early kickoff on Saturday morning. Now, I'm going to come out here and say this, honestly, the truth here. The start of the season, I knew that Chelsea weren't going to win the league, bro. And I think even if you beat us on Saturday, I don't think you win the league. Now,
See, I've heard a few people say that, but I'm interested in why.
Yeah, and it's not a murk. It's not a murk.
No, I know.
My thing on Chelsea, and in particular Tuchel, and the way that he sets up his team is, I don't think that the way he sets up his team is suited to a league campaign, because I look at the way he's starting his team. He starts with like 3 attacking players. Now, I know he has like the fullbacks and they bomb forward, but ultimately, it is pretty much just 3 attacking players. And I said at the start of the season, I said, these guys will draw too many games. I think they won't score enough goals and they'll draw too many games. And I think if you look at it, you've drawn 7 matches. I think I've kind of been proven right. But what I would say
we've only lost 2 as well. So like, I do hear what you're saying.
Yeah, and like I say, I'm not trying to murk Chelsea. I genuinely feel like you're a good side. And I think that in the cup competitions, I think you're strong. I think you're very strong. And in fact, when Tuchel come in last season and we did, it was the last 16. He come around the last 16, didn't he, of the Champions League? That's when he came in. And actually predicted Chelsea to win the Champions League because of Tuchel, man. And that's the thing. I think he's very good in like one-off games, knockout matches, because he doesn't have to technically win the game. Like, you can go through on away goals and that when away goals was a rule, and he can try and nick it. But I think in the Premier League, I think he needs a little bit more. And I think the way he sets up his team, for me, ain't going to work. And I think I've been proven right. 7 draws, 2 losses, not winning enough games. And you're currently, you're 10 points behind us. I mean, it's a massive game for you guys, Lewis.
See, the only thing that I think that's come into play that we couldn't really account for is the injuries. Like, we've spoken about the depth, and personally, I do think we overhyped our depth a little bit too much. But we got injuries in the worst places that we needed to. Like, left wing back, losing Ben Chilwell absolutely torched our build-up play. And the drop down from getting Marcos Alonso has just been, it's like night and day. And then in midfield, just completely battered by injuries there as well. We've had Kovacic injured. He's come back and then he's caught the vid immediately and he's been out because of that. We've had N'Golo Kante, who's always in and out of the side with injuries too. And then we're just stuck with Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek because we don't really have a replacement for Jorginho. Like, right now, I'd say it's Sal, and Sal's only just starting to come into the team now. But when we were first going for injuries, he was genuinely the worst player in the squad, and there was no way we were integrating him regularly into the team. So for me, it's injuries. Now, people will talk about the Lukaku debate and everything, and I've personally lost a lot of patience with him after the recent comments that have come out. But there is a point to it that we did bring Lukaku in way too late. He only came in 2 days before the start of the season and no preseason. Yep. So tactically, he wasn't really in sync with the rest of the attack. And he hasn't really been ever since then. He's got goals based off chances. He's still had 5 goals from 8 shots on target in the Premier League this season, but that's also been the problem. We've only really given him those chances. And then that builds into what you were saying about how the way that we play is more suited to cup competitions as opposed to League One. Now, I understand that because in terms of one game, you can play more defensively and force the other team to come out and then be able to attack them. And that's what we usually do. But we've always, for years, struggled against low blocks, against the bottom 10 in the league, because they will sit deep and they will frustrate you, and we don't have the creativity to match. So I understand that in that case as well. I just think with all the injuries, if we didn't have those, maybe it wouldn't have been as much of an issue for us. But we're here where we are. Even in spite of our poor form, we're still in second place. I don't know how we're still in second place, but we're here. It's like the false position with Manchester United last season. But that's why also, like, I personally think the title's done. If we get a result against you guys, there's hope. I don't think it's completely out of it, but we know what Man City's like. As soon as you guys start rolling, you guys are unstoppable. You always have these slow starts as well. So I don't really think too much of it if you guys start a season slowly, because you guys always do it and you guys always pattern up. You guys can go on 20 win runs and you'll forget all about it. So I think if there's any hope for us winning the title, we have to get a result here. But even if we do, I just don't really think it counts for anything. I think you're more getting the result to consolidate second place, because I don't see City bottling it. Really don't. I think even without a striker, and you do struggle sometimes without that striker, the chances you create are so good. Even the players that you have, it's impossible for them to miss. And that's how good your system is. That's how good Pep's led your team out to be. So I think this season it's a bit too far-fetched to look at the Premier League title, but we still got to win and try and play with hope because God knows what can happen. Remember you guys in 2012, you guys were 8 points behind Man United with 5 games left to go. You guys pulled it back. Anything can happen. But it's looking tough to say right now.
Yeah, I mean, your form guide's a bit misleading, really, because if you look at your form guide in the Premier League, it's poor, and it's why you're in the situation. You got 1 win in your last 5, and that's why you're 10 points behind us. You know, you pick up and the games. You know, so obviously Liverpool's a tricky one, but you know, I'm looking at like Wolves, Everton.
Wolves should have been postponed. In all honesty, if Liverpool can get that Arsenal game pushed back a week, we should have had Wolves postponed.
Yeah, but I'm still looking at it, bro. You still got like Brighton at home. You know what I mean? Everton,
there's horrendous results in there. Welbeck in the 98th minute. We drew to Everton's under 16s. Like, that ain't title winning form.
That ain't title winning. But you know, since then, that's what I'm saying. It's misleading because you have then gone and won the last 3 games in the cup. Obviously, you drew against Liverpool, which is obviously a semi-decent result, I guess, because they did have Salah and Mane at that point. So, you know, you're kind of coming into this, and I'm looking at the form guide just on the Prem, and I'm thinking, you know, we should be dominating these. But you know, the last 3 games you have won, you know what I'm saying? Like the last match when we played you last time, bro, it was kind of embarrassing, isn't it? I felt kind of embarrassed, but I went into that game thinking this is going to be tough. And I just remembered that we literally dominated the ball, and this is the thing, because he only plays with 3 attacking players. If City get the ball and squeeze you guys, there's no out ball, you know, because you're literally pinned in.
But the thing I see with Tuchel and Pep games is whoever really reverts from what they usually do throws the game away. Like we've seen it when we went to the Etihad last season. You guys had that weird 3-3-3-1 formation or something like that, and you guys threw the game away in that one. Then you got the Champions League final. You played with no DM, threw the game in that one. Yeah, and this one, we had the 3-5-2.
Yeah,
well, we've never played a 3-5-2, but we brought it out against you guys for some reason, in spite of the fact that whenever we stuck to a 3-4-3, we got a result against you guys, and we threw the game away in that one. So for me, like, I think the smartest thing for both managers to do is just don't change anything up. Stick to your systems. And then you'll really see who's the better team out of the two. Because it's always tight, but it's wherever manager tinkers, they always seem to throw the game away. So I think that's where the game's won and lost.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, this one, because City don't need to win this game. We get a point, I think we'll be very happy with that. You know what I mean? I think the onus is on Chelsea to try and get the winner, to try and keep the title, title hopes alive. But it's going to be an interesting game, man. Look, I think it's tricky. You know, this game's always going to be tricky, and I think it is actually at our place, isn't it? You know what I mean? So I think that might suit you a little bit more, because if you want to just sit back a little bit and absorb a little bit more pressure, I think it's always easier doing that away from home. I still think.
I'm also thinking you guys will be more motivated ever since Porto. Because the City team I saw come out at Stamford Bridge was like, that's a next level. The motivation, the intensity from them, they wanted that result more than anything. You saw in the celebrations at full time too. And the Chelsea fans, they're just going to spend 90 minutes riling the Man City fans regardless of the result. Have you heard what they're bringing to the away end?
No, what is it? Is it this
3 fouls? You're going to see 3 fouls as Champions of Europe balloons in the away end.
Yeah, I've seen it, but I didn't realize it was 3,000. I thought it was
everyone's ordering it. Everybody's ordering it, so they're going to have one look at that. And that's going to be all the motivation they need.
That is the definition of pain. Yeah, bro, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for City. I think we will get the job done. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a close game, as you say. I think the managers will just stick to the normal game plans. I think it's going to be a good clash. I think you guys, if you don't win, I think that is your title hopes over. And I think if we get the win, I think that pretty much seals it for us, man. So, yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1, bro. I don't know what you're thinking.
For me, Tuchel v Pep, it could go either way. Really could. It's such a tight game between us every single time. I'm going to go 1-0 Chelsea, because I think regardless, Tuchel has it in him to get a result against Pep. He did it 3 times last season. He definitely can do it again. And every single time we played you, we weren't the favourites. So I see a lot of similarity that time and the last 3 as well. But it doesn't mean it's as cut as dry as that. If we make any mistakes, you guys will capitalize on it. If you guys score first, the game's done. I think for either of us, whoever scores first, very unlikely for them to drop the lead too. So I'm going to stick 1-0 Chelsea. Hopefully we get an early goal because I know defensively I can trust this team. Maybe not Marcus Alonso, but I can trust most of the team. Going forward is what it is. Let's just see if we take our chances.
I actually just seen them, bro. It's on 11v11, and it's 3 out of the last 4 games have ended 1-0. So, you know, you probably bang on there, man. It's going to be a close game.
Both teams are very similar, in my opinion. 2 of the best goalkeepers in Europe, 2 of the best managers in Europe. Midfield can dominate either on their day. I think you guys have better creators. I'd say we have a better finisher in Lukaku, but like we haven't got the creativity to sort him out. So I think we're both very similar in that remark. So that's why these games are always so interesting.
Yeah, it is a real clash. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Go check out Carefree Lewis on his channel, Chelsea Fan TV. You got your personal as well, innit, bro? So, what you do to
Carefree Lewis G, Chelsea Fan TV, both. I'm happy.
Safe. Right, guys, we'll catch you in the next one. See you in a bit.